Very good morning to all of you, my dear friends. This is Shafiq Ahmed, and you're all welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Let's Learn Together. So, you are all welcome once again to the chapter Power Sharing of Great 10 History. And let us start our new topic, that is the comparison and possibilities between those two countries of Belgium as well as Sri Lanka. Because as we have seen, the different types of population uh, residing in both the countries. In Belgium, we have seen different type of communities living, and different type of people are also living there. And mostly the people are divided according to the language, Dutch speaking and French speaking, and this type of language were there. And in Sri Lanka, we have seen that 74% of the people are Sinhala speaking language speakers, and they are following the religion of Buddhism, while 18% included 13 plus 5% and 13% original Tamil Sri Lankans are there, and 5% are only Indian Tamils are there. Those 18% are also struggling for their identity, So let us see what really was the comparison between those two countries and what are the possibilities between them. Let's see. Let us start with the Belgium, because we have deal with the Belgium first. In Belgium, we have seen the Dutch community were having 59%. They were in really yellowish region. They were living in the Flemish region, and they were in community population. 59% of them were there, and they were speaking Dutch. So they could take what was the possibilities that they could take advantage of its numeric majority, because they were in quite large in number. That is known as numeric majority. So we can see over here that they could, they could, but they have taken or not, let us see. But they could take advantage of their majority because they are 59%, and they could also force their will on the French, who are just 40%, and almost 19%, and 19% less than the Dutch community. So there is a possibility in Belgium that the Dutch community might force their will on the French community, which are in minority, that is 40%. And even there were only 1% German speaking population in Belgium. So there was a quite possible chance that these 59% of the Dutch community can force their will on the French population as well as the German speaking population. But we will see later on in the chapter whether they have really forced their will, है ना, क्या उन्होंने जबरदस्ती अपना सारा चीज उनके ऊपर में होता है कि वो लाद देना, है ना, फोर्स कर देना. Whether they have done this or not, we will see in the later on in the chapter. That was one of the possibilities that the Dutch community could take advantage, but whether they have taken or not, we will see later on. Now let us see what is the other possibility. Uh, this would push the conflict among communities further. And if that would happen, if the Dutch would start taking chances or taking advantage over the minority French population, or if the Dutch community would start forcing their will, their law, their rules and regulations on the French as well as German speaking population, then the conflict would be further and further, would increase further and further. So ऐसा करने से क्या हो सकता है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और बढ़ जाएगा दोनों के बीच में दूरियां. The distance, the gap between these two communities must be greater if the Dutch community would force their will on the lower population community, and that could lead a very untidy partition of the country, and the country would be partitioned in a very untidy way, that 59% will live separately, 40% will live separately, and this 1% population will be again live separately. So that was a partition of the country would not which would not be good for the economy of the country, or for the growth and progress of the country also. So that could might be very untidy one. But both the sides would claim, and both the sides, because we have seen that 80% of the population of Brussels, that is the capital of Belgium, was having 80% population of what which is speaking French speaking people, and they were dominating in the capital of the country. So both the sides would claim over Brussels, and would claim their own control over Brussels. They would all try. the Dutch community will also try, and the French population will also try, that they must have full control on the capital of the country. We know if you are just controlling the capital, then it means that you are controlling the whole country. So that would be a very untidy partition, as well as a very untidy look of the country, and the people would be separated. They will not be living in the same community, or they would not feel the feeling of nationalism also. That would be very harsh one. So that are the possibilities if that community would start taking advantage over the French one and the German speaking one. So these are the possibilities, my dear students. Let us see about Sri Lanka. What are the possibilities over there in Sri Lanka? In Sri Lanka, we have seen the Sinhala community, which are 74% of the population are Sinhala community in Sri Lanka. They they enjoyed an even bigger majority over here. And if we compare Sri Lanka and Belgium, then the majority of the population in Belgium are only 59%. But here you can see the majority of the population in Sri Lanka, they contain 74%. So here is the comparison between Sri Lanka and Belgium regarding the majority of the community. So in Belgium, you can see 59%, and in Sri Lanka, the majority of the people are 74%, which is higher than the Belgium. So here, the chances of dominating over the lower community, over the percentage of the minority, are greater. Dominating nature can be much greater, and there would be much more untidy partition of the country on the basis of this community, on the basis of language. So the Sinhala community, which are 74%, they are enjoying an even bigger majority over here, and they could impose their will on the entire country, because they are 74%, my dear student. It is a huge percentage that Sinhala community are having. They are having 74% of the bigger majority over here, and they could really impose their all will, means all their rules and regulations on those less 26% of the community, that include 18%, and 18% of the Tamil and the Indian Tamil speakers. Let us see what ahead they can do. Now let us look what had happened in both these countries. So these are the comparisons, and these are the possibilities, my dear students. We will have to see really what has happened, what are the possibilities, whether what the things have been done in those both the countries. We will have to see to it. Okay, then let us move to our next slide. That is, here is the question. Oh, there is a question for you all, my students, to think over it. That uh, I have a simple equation in mind. The question is what? The student is saying that there is a simple equation in mind, that sharing power means what? Dividing power. It means what? Weakening the country. Yes, the more you will divide the power, it means that it will weaken your country. Then why do we start by talking of this? Why do we start, why do you want to divide the power? So if you have something in mind, then you can think of it and comment it in the comment section also, that if this equation is correct, sharing power means that dividing power, and that dividing power means weakening the country. If you are dividing the power, and if it will weaken your country, then why are we talking about dividing the power? Why not only the majority is ruling over the minority, so that they can take big decisions, for the growth and the development of the country? So this is the question that you should think of, my dear students. Let us move ahead. Now we will see majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. That is the new term, and let us see the meaning of this particular new term, that is majoritarianism. A belief, it is a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country. Means this is a type of belief. This is not a system. This is a belief that the majority of the people, they are thinking that they should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants. मीन्स एक मेजोरिटी कम्युनिटी क्या सोचता है कि जैसे चाहेंगे हम वैसे कंट्री को रूल करेंगे. इस थिंकिंग को ही हम लोग कहते हैं मेजोरिटेरियनिज्म. मीन्स अ बिलीव दैट द मेजोरिटी कम्युनिटी शुड बी एबल टू रूल ए कंट्री in whichever it wants, है ना, जैसे वो चाहेगा वैसे रूल करेगा, by disregarding the wishes and the needs of the minority. They will disregard, they will not request, they will not respect, and they will not consider the wishes or the needs of the minority of the population, which is there 26% in Sri Lanka. This 74% of the people, if they are thinking that they will rule the country in whichever they want, in however they want, uh, whatever they want, they will do in the country. That is known as majoritarianism. So they will disregard the wishes as well as the need of the minority. That is the real meaning of majoritarianism. Let us see what happens next, whether they have done this or not. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in the year 1948, just after 1 year of India's independence. India got its independence in 1947 and they got in 1948. The next year they got the independence. And the leaders, after the independence, the leaders of the Sinhala community, those 74% people and their leaders, what they wanted to secure dominance over government by caliber, that is means by level of their majority. There, that I was worried of, that if they will do this, then what will happen? And they have done. The leaders of those community, those Sinhala community, they wanted to what? Secure dominance over the government. Means they want to dominate over those particular minority section of the community. And they have done that also. See, 74% want to dominate and they are dominating. The democratically elected government adopted a series of Mediterranean measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. That means they have taken a lot of steps to establish what? To establish Sinhala supremacy. यानी अपना सुप्रीम बनाने के लिए अपने लोगों को, सिन्हाला लोगों को, they have taken a lot of steps in the country of Sri Lanka, in their country. And let us see what are the steps taken by them. Step number 1, in 1956, after getting independence in 1948, and after 8 years, they in 1956 the government passed an act to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. अब देखो सिन्हाला को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, सिन्हाला को dominate करने के लिए, सिन्हाला community, what they have done, they have adopted and they have passed an act to what? To recognize Sinhala as the only official language, and they just disregarded Tamil language. Because 18% of the people were there in Sri Lanka who can speak Tamil and who can write Tamil also. But they disregarded Tamil and they have adopted Sinhala as the only official language. Means there will be only one official language and that will be Sinhala only. So this is the first step towards dominating, towards adopting or establishing Sinhala supremacy in Sri Lanka. That was the first step taken by the Sri Lankan, taken by the Sinhala community. The government followed preferential policies. Means they started giving preference, है ना? ये लोग क्या शुरू कर दिया? Preference देना शुरू कर दिए. किनको? They started giving preference to the favored Sinhala applicants for university positions as well as government jobs. Means they started preferring or giving chances first of all to the Sinhala applicants. Means those people who are speaking Sinhala language, those who are Sinhala, those who belong to Sinhala community, they will get the position, they will get the job first of all, by disregarding anyone. Say Sinhala applicants, they started what? Favoring these Sinhala applicants for all type of jobs and government positions. That was the second step taken by the government to establish Sinhala supremacy in Sri Lanka. First step, what was the first step? They adopted Sinhala as the official language. That was the only official language. And second step, they have started preferential policies. Means they started giving preference first to the Sinhala applicants. Means the applicant, whenever there is a government job, the government used to start recruiting by taking competitive examination interviews. So they asked the applicant to apply. So that was going on in the country. But the preference would be given to the Sinhala applicants first of all. And if Sinhala applicants अगर किसी ने apply किया है तो सबसे पहले job उनको मिलेगा. If there will be no Sinhala applicants, then only the job will be given to the other people. But first chance will be given to the Sinhala applicants. That was the second step taken by the government to establish what? Sinhala supremacy in Sri Lanka. And that is really not a democratic type of government. That is against democracy. That is not the equality. And again, this you can see third step taken by the Sinhala community was that a new constitution was introduced, declaring that the state shall protect and promote Buddhism only. See, a new constitution was introduced that the country will protect, and the country will also protect the followers of Buddhism. Means they will protect the followers of Buddhist, the people, Buddhist people, because they were 74% of the people, this Sinhala community, were following or practicing the religion of Buddhism. So what the constitution, they have brought the constitution, and they declared that the country will provide and their country will protect and promote Buddhism always. They will promote Buddhism. That was the third step taken by. Means you can see over here, they are giving preference to their language also, Sinhala language. They are giving preference to their Sinhala people also, Sinhala applicants for jobs also, and they have introduced constitution which will protect and promote their religion also, that is Buddhism. So these were the steps taken by the Sinhala community to establish Sinhala supremacy in Sri Lanka. You can see, my dear, the Mediterraneanism in Sri Lanka. What was the status? What were the people, the Silhana community were doing to establish their supremacy in Sri Lanka? That we have seen. Now we will move ahead and we will follow and we will see what happened in Belgium. And let us see. Let us see few more steps about the Sri Lanka Mediterraneanism in Sri Lanka also. You can see over here ethnic communities of Sri Lanka in the map. You can see the yellow one, the yellow portion that have been marked over here in the map. They are the Sinhala people. Means those 74% people are living all together. You can see at a particular place. This yellow mark you cannot find over here or here in these portions. You can't see over here in this portion. Means this yellow people means the Silhana community are living together and they are united together, and that's why they are dominating over the minorities. And you can see Sri Lankan Tamil people, yeah, they are also united. You can see they are also living together in this particular area. You can see over here this Sri Lankan Tamil people, which are only 13%, and Indian Tamil person, this dark, dark, which color is this one? The dark brown color. So Indian Tamil people, they are only 5%, but they are also living together. You can see at a particular separate place. But the Sri Lankan Tamil people, they are 13% and they are living also together. They are scattered, but they are on the same way. You can see over here also these 5% Indian Tamil are also living together with the Sri Lankan Tamil people over here. But what are the conditions of the Muslim Tamil people? Muslims are scattered. You can see here, they are scattered. They are not living together. They are scattered in many places. You can see in the map. So this was the ethnic composition, means the people were living according to their religion or according to the language they used to speak. And this is the division, or you can say social division of the people in the country of Sri Lanka. That is the condition. And if you want to know more about, then you will have to visit this particular site, www.gov.lk. And you will have to visit for more information this particular site. You can go there and visit and you can get a lot of information. Now let us move ahead. We have seen that was the condition and how the people are living in Sri Lanka. Now Mediterraneanism in Sri Lanka, let us see more what they have done. The Sri Lankan Tamils, which are 13% that we have seen in the map also. Let us see once more in the map that Sri Lankan Tamils people, those who are there over here, you can see in the map, these Sri Lankan Tamil people are living over here in orange shaded. You can see this 13% of the people. This 13% of the people realized what they realized. They came to know that none of the major political parties, and those major political parties were from which side? From which? From Sinhala side, Sinhala community side. So they realized the Sri Lankan Tamils, they realized that they are the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka, but they realized that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders, major political parties were led by Buddhist Sinhala leaders. So this Sri Lankan Tamil realized that these political parties, these major political parties, which are led by Buddhist Sinhala leaders, they are not sensitive to their language and culture. They realize, the Sri Lankan Tamils realize that these people are not sensitive or not, or they are not taking care of their language, that is their language, that is Tamil language and Tamil culture. So these 13% realize that these people, these 74% people and their parties and the leaders, they are not going to do anything for them. They realize this. These 13% people realize that their language and their culture are in danger. इन लोगों को लगा 13% को कि हम लोगों का लैंग्वेज और कल्चर जो है वो डेंजर में, that is in danger. They felt that the constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights. Yes, they were right. Anna, they felt right. They have seen that the constitution is promoting and protecting Buddhism. The act of the country is promoting the language, Silhana language only. And they have seen that there are many government policies which are giving preference to which candidate, to the Sinhala candidates, Silhana applicants. So they have seen that this particular constitution and the government policies, they are not providing them equal political rights also. They are discriminating against them in getting jobs also, and even in getting the other opportunities, and even they are ignoring their interests. So it was the time to take action by the Sri Lankan Tamils. They are 13%, the next majority after that Sinhala community. 74% Sinhala, and this 13% is the next majority of the people who are living in Sri Lanka. So they realize that their culture and their language, their political right, all are in danger. Their jobs, their opportunities, they are not getting opportunities, they are not getting jobs, and even their interests are ignored in the country. So they have realized and they felt that they have to do something. They have to take care of their language and culture. They have to take care of their possibilities. So the relation between the Sinhala and the Tamil communities damaged over time and time again. जैसे जैसे दिन गुजरते गया, इन लोगों के बीच में रिलेशन जो है और खराब होता चला गया. The relation between them, the Sinhala and the Tamil people, damaged over time. And let us see what they have done. Action time from the Sri Lankan Tamils. What have they done? They started, these Tamil, Sri Lankan Tamils, these 13% people, they launched their parties, you know, their parties. And they started struggling. Struggling means what? Fighting back. They started fighting back for three things. Number one, they want to recognize Tamil as an official language. पहला उन्होंने लड़ाई शुरू किया, प्रोटेस्ट शुरू किया. For what? To recognize Tamil as the official language. Means they don't want to exclude, they don't want to remove Sinhala as an official language, but they want to include Tamil also as an official language. That was the struggling, or that was the demand of these Sri Lankan Tamil people, that they also wanted Tamil as the official language to be declared. Means they wanted two official languages to be declared in Sri Lanka, Tamil as well as what? That Sinhala. So they tried, they fight back. And what the next one was, that they fight back, they struggle for regional autonomy, that is self-government. They wanted from the government side that they are living in the separate place. As we have seen in the map also, that they are living together at the corner, है ना? So they wanted that they will rule themselves. They want self-government. So they started fighting for that also. They wanted that, okay, we will follow our rules, our own rules and regulation. We will govern ourselves. We don't need Sinhala community people. We will rule according to ourselves. So they started fighting back for what? Self-government, also known as regional autonomy. Means they wanted to rule themselves in their area. They don't want any participation from the Sinhala community to interfere in their work. So that is the second demand of the Sri Lankan Tamils. That is 13% of the people. And the next demand, guess it, my student, what should be the next demand? Yes, you are right. The next demand is equality of opportunity in securing both education as well as jobs. In India also, you will find that if you want to get admission in a good school or institution, then there is a large number of queue, there is a long line, and you will have to struggle to get admission in that particular place, in that educational institution. So likewise in Sri Lanka also, they wanted what? They wanted equal opportunity in getting education, in getting admission in medical colleges, in engineering colleges. Means they want equal opportunity. They wanted that, okay, on the basis of merit, you can select the candidate. Don't give preference to the Sinhala applicants only. Don't give preference to any particular community. We want what? Equal opportunity in government jobs also, and in securing education also. So these were the demand of the Sri Lankan Tamils, and let me tell you, they really got that also. Let us move ahead and complete this one. By 1980s, they got independence in the year 1948, and you can see 1980s means almost you can see 22 years, 32 years. In 32 years, by 1980s, several political organizations were formed, and they demand what? Independent Tamil Elam state. Now they are asking for the division of the country. These people, these 13% people, they wanted what? They demanded for independent Tamil state. Means they want a separate state in the north and the eastern part of Sri Lanka, because they were living in majority in those areas, and they are fighting for what? They are fighting for the self-government. That's why they started asking for independent Tamil state in Sri Lanka, within Sri Lanka. And let us see what happened next. The demand for more autonomy, that is more self-government to provinces, means to the areas which are populated by the Tamils, was repeatedly denied by the government. Means they were demanding for the self-government where they are living, but this demand was repeatedly rejected by the Sinhala community government. They are 74%, so they were rejecting. They don't want the division in their country, so they were just repeatedly denying and rejecting the government, rejecting the demand. And what was the result? What was the result for the rejection? If we will reject the demand of a particular community, they are also 13%. It doesn't mean that they are just too much minor. They are also 13% of the people. So they started rejecting their request. Then what was the result? Let us see. The distrust, यानी असविश्वास है ना, विश्वास नहीं रहा, एक दूसरे पर विश्वास नहीं कर रहे थे. So the distrust between the two communities turned into widespread conflict. बहुत ज्यादा लोगों के बीच में conflict होने लगा. The people started fighting with each other, and we can see it soon turned into a civil war. That is war within the country. The people started fighting within themselves. Another Sinhala community people were attacking the you can see the Sri Lankan Tamil people, and the Sri Lankan Tamil people were attacking the Sinhala community people. Thousands of people of both the communities have been killed. You can see a bloodshed was there. A lot of people killed. Thousands of people were killed from both the sides. Many families were forced to leave the country. बहुत सारे families को country छोड़कर जाना पड़ा because they wanted to save their life. So they were forced to leave the countries as refugees के तरह. And many more lost their livelihoods also, है ना. बहुत लोगों का जो है livelihoods भी छीन गया. They cannot earn for their living. They cannot live also. So you can see there was a total demolition. There was a total destruction in Sri Lanka during this 1980s. You can see over here. The civil war has caused a terrible setback to the social as well as cultural and economic life of the country. And if the people will fight within themselves, they will fight with each other, then there will be a setback in all the sectors of the country, as well as in social, cultural, as well as economic life of the country will destroy, and the country will be moved back 50 or 100 years back. They will have to start once again, because they are not trying to they are not working for the growth of the country. That is the reason. And you can see the conflict ended in 2009. It started from 1980s. It started from, you can say, 1948. It started from 1948, and the conflict ended in 2009, and now they are living together nowadays. So that is the real condition of Sri Lanka nowadays. Now the people are living together. So that is all in this class. We will discuss more about Belgium in our next class. That's all. Thank you, my dear students. We will meet again. Hope that you have liked the video, and we will meet again in our next video release of the tutorial. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the information of the next release of the tutorial. Please share it with your friends and others also. Thank you for the time being. Take care. Stay at home. Bye bye. Take care.